My name is Gene Wenaas. I was born on December 30th, 1933. This is my wife Shirley.
Jean Goodman.
Jean Goodman Wenaas. Yeah. My wife Shirley May Wenaas. We were married in 1960. Before that, I went to Calgary and worked as a machinist. Took my apprenticeship with a CPR, and then I come home and went farming. In the meantime, I served 1 year in the machine shop in Moose Jaw and met Shirley, and she's from Moose Jaw, yeah. So,
your family are farmers? The history of
my dad bought this place in 1938, and I was born about 5 miles from here in a homestead. Then we moved to another place. Then he bought this in 1938. We moved down here. My brother and I were born on the other place. My sister Wilma was born here, and then Walter and Linda were born in the hospital in Maple Creek. They're the 2 youngest.
So 5 of you all together.
My dad passed away in 1985, and my mother passed away in 1986.
And what were their names?
George and Esther. Dad was from Norway. He was born in Trondheim, Norway, and he came over here when he was, I think in 1913. He came in over here and joined the army in the United States, and he got onto the ship to go overseas, and the war ended. And Mom was born in the United States. Her folks came from Voss, Norway. Actually, it was Brekus Valley in Norway. And we went to visit that Brekus Valley in 1981. And this valley is about 500 yards long and a half-mile wide. So it wasn't a very big place. But Mom went with us, so we really enjoyed it. She was able to translate a lot. Dad, he was a good all-around farmer. He was good with welding, good with machinery. And
We had to be.
yeah.
Because you couldn't go to town and have the work done. You had to be able to do it. Be self-sufficient down there. Yes.
Remember one time, I was 11 years old at the time, and Dad was hauling coal coal used to come in boxcars to Robsart, and he had a sleigh and he'd haul. He went to town to get coal that one day. He tried to cross the track with a sleigh, and his front runners hit the railroad track and knocked him down, and he broke. I don't know, he broke his shoulder, I think. So he was laid up, and then Peter, my older brother, he lives in Calgary now, but he was going to school here, and he had his tonsils out, so he was laid up. So we were milking 4 cows, I think, at the time. So Mom and I would milk. I was 11 years old. Mom and I milked the cows, and then I harnessed the horses, and we drove the team to town, took the little kids to town, to school. And that's, you know, like, I thought it was pretty good. Milk 4 cows and still get the kids to school in time. We had the milk, though. We had to have that milk and cream. And we used to ship cream on the railroad, and separate it, and put it in cream cans and haul it in. But we used to get, once a week we could ship a cream can full of cream. Then you'd wait for the check to come. Oh, a lot of times it was the only money you had was that cream can.
But then too, you had to have a permit.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
sell
we
it.
had a
If
permit.
you didn't have a permit to sell it, well then you had to sell it some other way.
Since then, sure, I moved down here in 1961, and we've been living here ever since. Like, this is when Shirley first came down here. We were always in a ball tournament. Shirley played ball, and we played ball. We played council one day, and Charlie Seifert, and a real hitter, real batter, you know.
From council.
So yeah, and he played in council, he played in Robsart, but he was playing for council his one ball game. And so Ken Wenaas up here, was reading about things to do in a ball game. So the next day what he did, he put some balls in the deep freeze. The next day when we were playing against Council, I was pitching and I said to Ken, "You want to throw me a new ball?" I said, "This is kind of ratty here." I said, so he threw me one of those balls. And Charlie, he hit that. It should have been a mile in, just second base. He couldn't understand it. Well, how come? It was quite a while. About 6 months later, we told him that he hit a frozen ball. Well,
It was my job to come out here to the deep freeze when I got the signal, to pick up this ball back into.
yeah.
So did you beat Council that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
We
yeah.
won the tournament, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. And then those days too, you know, you had the booth, which you took all your stuff in there, and we, you know, didn't have that much ice to keep things cold. And we also served a dinner plate at night. So we would have, you know, ham and potato salad and all this stuff and dessert. That's what you did. After you play ball all day. Have a feast.
Farming, and we bought some land and sold land. And
So what did you farm? Or what do you farm?
we farmed, at that time we farmed 10 quarters.
Wow.
And now we've sold all except 1 quarter. And the quarter we have is grass. And I harvest that for seed. And so I'm kind of retired, but so the place is for sale. So in the meantime, I like doing carpentry, but I don't like cupboards and finishing stuff like that. So we built a stagecoach about 12, 15 years ago.
Really?
And then we built, first of all, we built a Democrat. And
What's
a Democrat is just a 4-wheel buggy, just a buggy. It's a go to meeting town buggy.
Wow.
And then I built a doctor's buggy. It's just a 2-seater. And we've had it in parades. We had a team of Palominos, and then we built our stagecoach. And we've had it in different parades and had it for weddings, different weddings. And then after that, we built a wedding, it's called a vis-a-vis. It looks like the Queen's buggy.
Wow.
It's a white. Linda Haverstock was the lieutenant governor, and we were asked to drive her with this wedding buggy
Wow.
around. And the musical ride was there. Funerals, we never did do a funeral. Well, this is the doctor's buggy there. That's one of the first ones we built.
I'm picturing the doctor's buggy on Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, yeah. And this stuff, the wheels come from the Amish in Ontario, and so did the top. I sent for that. I haven't done any more really with building. A few things in the house here, but that's all. So, but I enjoy, you know, like getting old tractors to run, and I've got a few that I'm working on now.
What, in your opinion, is the difference between farming and ranching?
Well, I don't know. Well, farming, you just grow grain, eh? Ranching is just mostly cattle. It all depends on which side of the fence you're on. Some people think ranching is more glamorous than farming, and farmers think farming is more glamorous than ranching. But I don't know. I've always been, I loved horses, but we never had many horses. Except, you know, after we got married, then we... Back to the trail ride here. We went from here and we stopped at Well, we started at Ravenscraig, we stopped at Gilchrist, we stopped at Bros, and, you know, we stopped at different places along the road. Then we had to park, and Wednesday night, we had to park everything, then the bus took all our drivers back to Ravenscraig and got their vehicles to sleep in on Wednesday night. So it was a big undertaking, all right. We had people from, you know, a lot of people from Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Alberta, so we had to divide them up into groups. So we purchased bandanas, and then everybody belonged to the group had a one certain color bandana.
So how many people were there then?
There were 700 people.
Wow.
There was about 100 wagons and probably 600 riders. And then at Mini-Berries, we ended up Mini-Berries on Friday night, and they had a big powwow for us there, and then we went to Ensicombe the next day. And that was the end of it. And then the next bunch took off for Fort McLeod the next year.
So you call it the Boundary Commission Trail Ride,
Yeah.
and it brought people from all 5 provinces.
I was president in 97, and then in 98 we finished it.
So the Boundary Commission, back in the last century then, what's the actual historical event that it's based, like, can you tell me a bit about the event that it's recreating now?
It was based on, the Boundary Commission they tried to follow when they staked out the border. That's why it's called Boundary Commission.
What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in this community? Your own reflections on that?
Well, I think when we lost the school and the service station in town and the grocery store, everything is just, it all goes there.
When was that then?
So it must be about 66 or 67.
Yeah, right.
So, then it was sold to a furniture manufacturer, and then somehow the paint got far and the dirt.
This brand new school.
Yes, that town has changed really quickly, like in a few generations.
Oh, yes.
Well, like, you know, Rob said, we lost all our elevators, they all went from there. Our post office and the store went, but we pretty well rely on council. And then, you know, you get just whatever you want from council, except major repairs, all right. So that's about the story of our lives, all right.
Pretty good story.
We have, Marty lives about 7-8 miles from here. He has 4 kids. Really enjoy them. Kathleen lives in Saskatoon, and she has a boy in Boston playing hockey and going to school, and then 2 girls. So she's busy.
Any closing remarks about the community before we wrap it up? What makes it a good place to live here?
All people. Everybody's got something to give, you know, exceptional